So this is the pan-Japanese yen analysis for Monday, 20th of November. So GBPJPY. Now let's just have a look what I've been priced on the 17th. So we're just gonna grab the pen, and as we can see, the 17th was just here. So what we did see was prices did come up to this 200 period moving average here in blue. So we did see, we have most recently seen we did trade above this 200 period moving average, but we have seen some pretty somewhat strong sell side momentum come off this 200 period moving average. Again, we've had a small retracement here, but again, that 200 period moving average, just clear this chart up a bit, has held as resistance. So we did have another retest, but we did have this very strong sell-off candle here, this very strong candle closing near at lows from that 20 period moving average. And what we did see was strong sell side momentum coming to the market. We did trade below this 148.46. We did say we could potentially target at 148 for a bounce of some sort, as we has held as somewhat support in the past. So we had a retracement from there, and we broke below that level. Now we've not seen a major retest of the major, the next major level we'll be looking at is around at 148.46, but more recently we can see here that we have found some support in around at 148, where is that, 148.20. So 148.20, we did see a bullish move from there on two previous occasions here. So we did come up to this 148.20. We did see it did act as resistance actually on this occasion. So let's just clear this up a little bit. So let's just clear this up a bit. So 148.20. We've had a retrace all the way up to 148.20 before we saw some sell side momentum come back into this market for prices to move to the downside. So below 148.20, we were definitely looking at 147.35. That's the next major level of potential support, where we could see some buy side momentum coming to the market, from which we could potentially see prices move up to this most recent, where we've just had a recent swings in around 48.20 before we see some further downside momentum for another revisit of 47.35. If we don't see much reaction around at 48.20, we're looking for a major level in around at 148.46, potentially acting as resistance. Also, we've got before we get up to the next major level in around that 49.28, we do seem to have had a pricey stall in around this 149. Well, it's 149.20. In around there, we may see some sell side momentum, possibly taking us all the way back down to 148.46 if we do see a heavy retracement. Now, below which, if we do go below 147.35, the very next major level we'll be targeting is around at 146 level. So if we just bear with me a second. If we do trade below this 147.35, we don't hold the level, or we don't see a positive reaction from that level, we'll be looking to target 146. Now, to the upside, we do expect upside to be limited. So again, we'll be looking around at 149.10 to 149.30 for potential sell side momentum before we're looking at 149.78. Now, that should wrap up this time frame. So what we'll do is we'll then go over to the higher time frames before. So we'll go over to the monthly time frame. Just bear with me a second here. As we go over to the monthly time frame, I'm just going to get the scale on here correct. So on this monthly time frame, we're still in a bullish trend, as we can see here on the chart. So we've got a lows there, and we've had a pullback breakout. We are operating in the shadow of this very strong bullish candle here to your left. Now, the previous month was somewhat indecisive. I think it was an inverted. I think it's called a hanging man or something. We've got this candle where we did retrace quite a bit in the month of October. We did close closer to the open of the candle, but the bearish move, and we did expect, after seeing such a heavy retracement from the downwards move, we did expect to see continuation here in the month of November. So far in the month of November, the upside has been somewhat limited, and instead, more recently, we have been trending downwards, especially in light of last week's candle. So let's just have a look at where we are. So the month opened at 50.91, and we're currently trading in around this, just below, in around the 147. Is it 147.80? It does appear that we're trading at 147.80. So we're quite a bit away from the month's open in around that 150.91. So we do look poised for it for a bearish close to the month. So we may see further retracement into this bullish candle that we have here in the month of September, before we potentially see more upside momentum for revisits of this 52.85 and possibly 54.72. So we're just going to have a look at the weekly and the daily time frame before wrapping up here. So on this weekly time frame, we can see let's bear with me a second here. So we've got our lows here, higher lows being posted. We've got heavy retracements, which you don't like to see ideally. We've got this very strong bullish week here. We're still operating in the shadow of it as well, and we've seen a retracement. So we do look poised. We could potentially see what might be determined as a lower high. So we've got our highs here around at 52.85. We've got another high there, and we are still retracing from there, but we do have major levels of support. The fact that the candles are pretty small in size, indicating that the bearishness is somewhat limited at present. We've not seen a great degree of bearishness, so we've got a previous highs around at 52.85. Our most recent swing high is all the way up at 151.93. So we'll see what happens if we do see prices retrace all the way up there. But we are operating in shadow of a bearish week last week, closing near the lows, and we do appear poised for another bearish close. Well, this week's pretty new, so we'll see how this week develops, how fundamental news impacts the market. So let's just have a look at the next a possible major level of support and resistance. So in terms of dynamic levels, we've got the 400 period moving average sitting at 149.44. We've got the 200 period moving average is quite a bit away at 162, so it doesn't come into focus, and 50 period moving average sitting at 143, again doesn't come into focus. The next major level after the 400 period moving average at 149.44 is the 20 period moving average sitting at 146.55. So if we do receive retracement from a 147.35 before we get up down to 146, we might be looking at the 20 period moving average at 146.55 for potential acting as dynamic level of support. So we'll just have a look at the daily time frame before wrapping up here on the pound yen. So on this daily time frame, again, the most recent trend, it's not ideal. It's not really trending, to be fair. So we've got our highs there, we've got a low there, so we are operating in shadow of that previous high and that low. But overall, so we had this very strong move upwards, so we're still operating in shadow of a very strong move upwards. That's the reason we were mentioning on the higher time frames it is somewhat bullish. Now we are operating in more recently. We've not negated this candle. I've just put the arrow just on the chart just there. This bearish candle from this 151.25. Instead, we saw a retracement, a degree of indecisiveness, but the overall trend has been slowly trending to the downside. It's not a very strong trend to the downside, but overall it has been headed to the downside, looking poised for another retest in around that 147.35, in around that most recent swing. So we'll just have a look where the most recent swing was. It's all the way around this low just here. So I'm just going to have a look where that is. We might see some buy side momentum coming to the market. That was all the way down at 146.94. So it's just below the 146.94. So in around that 147 region where we saw some buy side momentum come into the market for prices to move upwards before we saw obviously this bearish candle. We were still operating in shadow of it. So this looks like a lower high. So we've got our highs there. This does look a lower high. I mentioned it on the weekly time frame. So we do look poised for another retest of these lows, and after which we'll be looking for the other major levels already noted on the chart. So that should wrap up the pound yen analysis. So thanks for watching.